This is the 2024 HP Spectre X360, and this is probably one of my favorite laptops I'm using right now. Now that's a bold statement. That's not something you say at the beginning of a video. A lot of people automatically think right away it's sponsored. This video is not. This is a review unit from HP. And even though this design has been used for the past few years, they've made a lot of little changes to make this such an excellent product. Now I want to go through that with you because it's very important to know what you're getting. And these little changes, I think you're going to really appreciate. And I want to see more laptop manufacturers incorporate them. Now, if you buy it, you can buy it in a silver or this darker color. It kind of looks navy blue depending on how the light shines it. It does pick up a lot of fingerprints. Like if you touch the top of the lid, fingerprints do get all over it. Top of the lid is a little squishy. Again, this is a 2-in-1 device. The display obviously rotates all the way back so that you can use it in a tablet position, or you can put it in tent mode if you want to have it like this. Ports are interesting, and it's probably my biggest complaint. There are only 3 ports on this computer. Like you get a USB-A port on the left-hand side, the little flippy flappy. Again, be careful with these things. Don't jam your USB devices into this. These things tend to break quite easily. You have your combo audio jack in the back left corner. And then on the right back corner, you have your Type-C port and then another Type-C port on the right-hand side. Only one of them is Thunderbolt 4. It's a 3.2-pound laptop, so very, very light. Now, to kind of circumvent the lack of ports, HP is including a bunch of dongles in the box. For example, I got an HDMI to Type-C dongle, and I also got Type-C to a bunch of ports dongle. So this one also has HDMI, 2 USB 3.2A ports, and then of course you have another Type-C port, probably just to charge the laptop on the front. But most importantly, for those of you that like to draw, a lot of the SKUs come with an HP Active Pen. This is MPP 2.0. And because this display is 120 Hertz, it just feels so good to draw on. Like it just feels super, super smooth. Like it's just such a nice experience. So if you're taking notes, drawing on this thing, it's fantastic. Now, one of the biggest updates that I truly appreciate is on the keyboard deck. Like you have this super clicky keyboard. Like don't get me wrong, HP used to have some of the worst keyboards on a laptop, but over the last couple of years, they've refined it. And this one they're using on the Spectre feels really, really good. Not only do you get good travel distance, they're just nice and clicky. I prefer this keyboard over the MacBook Airs. Also, talking about the MacBook Air, this has a haptic touchpad. That's something you don't get on a lot of Windows laptops. Most Windows laptops use a glass touchpad. I wish more manufacturers would just use haptic because it's like taking your mouse experience one level up. Like using this is so good. Like it feels just as good as a MacBook Air. And there's only a few other laptops that I can think of off the top of my head that are using haptic touchpads. I understand it's more expensive, but I promise you the person buying a laptop will 100% appreciate it. On top of all this, you do get 4 speakers that face upwards and they sound really loud and they actually have a good amount of bass. But one of the best things about this laptop is this display. Not only is this a 2.8K OLED display, it's 120 Hertz, and you can switch back and forth between 60 and 120 depending on whether or not you want to save a little bit of battery life. But 120 Hertz on any laptop just feels so good to use. Scrolling feels smoother. Moving objects around the screen feels smoother. It makes the laptop feel faster than it really is. Plus, you just get a really good color gamut. You have fantastic color accuracy. You have good screen brightness. And it even supports HDR with a peak brightness of 500 nits. Plus, it also has a fingerprint scanner to quickly log you in and a webcam that's QHD and also supports Windows Hello. So you can use your face to log you into the laptop. So this is what the QHD webcam looks like. I think it looks absolutely awesome, at least based on what I'm seeing on the screen. But look, you have all those AI features that are embedded into this laptop where you can like blur the background, auto framing, so it follows you around. But more importantly, you guys let me know how it looks and how the microphones sound. Sticker placement, looking pretty good. Those are some of the straightest stickers I've seen in a very long time. I don't know if the sticker guy got a raise, but good work there, buddy. But most importantly, that IMAX Enhanced sticker, it's pretty big. They're obviously trying to advertise this, and not every laptop can be IMAX Enhanced. What that basically means is that this laptop meets certain criteria on the display that allows you to watch IMAX movies at a better fidelity. So if you're watching an IMAX movie, let's say on Disney Plus, for example, it's going to look 26% sharper, more vibrant than, let's say, a display that does not support it. But most importantly, let's talk about performance, because that's what a lot of people actually care about. And look, this is a laptop that is using an Intel Meteor Lake processor. This is an Intel Core Ultra 7 155H. This one has 32 gigabytes of RAM. You have a 1 terabyte NVMe SSD and that beautiful OLED display. I'll be straight up with you. This is not one of the fastest Intel Core Ultra laptops I've tested. Lost in single core performance compared to other laptops I've just recently tested, and same holds true with multi-core performance. Even though it does well and it keeps close to it, it's just not on top of the pack. But if you're buying this for Photoshop, it absolutely blazes through any edits you throw at it. Again, this is not really a laptop meant for 4K video editing. Like, you can jump into a timeline, make a few changes, scroll through it. It will slow down here and there, but this is more for, like, let's say editing vertical content, making quick changes. 1080p is totally fine on this, but this is not a laptop for full 4K videos. Now, the reason why it's not beating out the other laptops I've tested is because HP has decided to always keep the fan noise low. Even when this is on performance mode, you can hear the fans, but they're significantly lower than the performance modes on a laptop like the Asus ZenBook 14 or even the Asus ZenBook Duo. And I'm okay with that because, like, at the end of the day, this is not a gaming laptop. I'd rather have a quiet experience and still have good performance than having the best performance with a lot of fan noise when you're using something this thin. Heat management is obviously really good on this laptop since it's more of a conservative approach, and the same holds true for the average core clock speeds. Now, this is not a gaming laptop, but it is using an Intel Arc IGP, which is double the performance of previous Iris Xe. I was able to run older titles on this, as long as you don't mind dropping the settings down to 1920 by 1200 with fairly good frame rates. The internals are really easy to access, and you do have a, I wouldn't say a big battery, but a 68 watt-hour battery, which gave me around 9 hours and like 50 minutes of use before needing to charge, which isn't bad. Not the best I've tested on Intel Meteor Lake, but still pretty good. 2 fans, lots of copper. You have 1 drive slot over here, which is obviously replaceable or upgradable. RAM is soldered onto the motherboard, which is pretty standard for Intel Meteor Lake laptops. But you do have a Wi-Fi 7 card on the left-hand side that is swappable. Honestly, I am really impressed. These are small but important changes. OLED display with 120 Hz. Haptic touchpad that feels so good to use. Fantastic sound. A super tight hinge when you open it is nice and stiff and doesn't wobble everywhere. Doesn't have a lot of ports, but at least they give you some dongles to give you more. The only other complaint that I have, and again, this is probably standard on a lot of laptops, is the screen does have some reflection. But honestly, this is like one of my favorite 2-in-1s you can buy right now. Now, if you have any more questions, let me know in the comment section down below. Like the video if you liked it, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys in the next one.